Imagine holding a Samsung phone in your hand, a device powered by some of the most advanced technology on Earth. Now imagine going back in time and telling someone that this global technology giant would begin as a tiny store selling dried fish, vegetables, and noodles. Most people would laugh. It would sound impossible. But that impossible story is exactly what happened. Because long before Samsung became a technology empire, there was one man with a vision that was far bigger than his circumstances. His name was Lee Byung-chul, and this is the story of how he helped transform not only a company, but an entire nation. Lee Byung-chul was born on February 12, 1910, in Wiryong County, Korea. At the time, Korea was a very different place from the modern country we know today. It was poor, unstable, and facing enormous political challenges. Lee was born into a wealthy family of landowners. Unlike many children around him, he did not grow up worrying about food or shelter. But wealth did not satisfy him. Even as a young boy, Lee showed signs of ambition. He was curious about how businesses worked. He paid attention to trade, markets, and the movement of goods. While other children focused only on school or daily life, Lee was fascinated by opportunity. His family hoped he would receive a strong education and eventually take over family responsibilities. So he traveled to Japan to continue his studies. At that time, Japan had a much more advanced economy than Korea. Many ambitious young Koreans looked there for education and inspiration. But things did not go according to plan. Lee struggled with his studies and eventually returned home without completing his degree. For many people, this would have felt like a major failure. Years of effort seemed wasted. Friends and relatives may have questioned his future. But Lee Byung-chul refused to let one setback define his life. Instead of seeing failure, he saw a new beginning. He understood something that many people never learn. Success does not belong to the person with the perfect resume. It belongs to the person who keeps moving forward. After returning to Korea, Lee began experimenting with business. His first ventures were not spectacular successes. He made mistakes. He lost money. He learned difficult lessons. But every mistake taught him something valuable about risk, management, and opportunity. Unlike most people, he did not fear failure. He treated failure as tuition, a price paid for education in the real world. Then, in 1938, at the age of just 28, Lee made a decision that would change history. He started a small trading company in the city of Daegu. He called it Samsung. The name Samsung means 3 stars in Korean. To Lee, the 3 stars represented something powerful, strong, and everlasting. He wanted his company to become a symbol of endurance and greatness. At the time, however, Samsung was anything but great. It sold dried fish, vegetables, noodles, and other basic products. Employees loaded goods by hand. There were no factories. No advanced technology, no global recognition, just a small business trying to survive. But Lee was thinking decades ahead. While others focused on daily profits, he focused on long-term growth. He understood that every giant company starts small. The key is not where you begin. The key is whether you continue growing. Samsung's trading business slowly expanded. The company exported products to nearby countries and built relationships with suppliers and customers. Business was improving. The future looked promising. Then disaster struck. In 1950, the Korean War began. The war devastated the Korean peninsula. Cities were destroyed. Millions of people lost their homes. Businesses collapsed. The economy fell apart. For many entrepreneurs, the war destroyed years of hard work. Samsung was also affected. Operations became difficult. Markets disappeared. Uncertainty was everywhere. At that moment, Lee Byung-chul faced one of the biggest tests of his life. He could have given up. Many people did. But Lee saw opportunity where others saw chaos. He believed that once the war ended, Korea would need to rebuild. And rebuilding would require businesses. It would require jobs. It would require industries. So instead of retreating, he prepared for the future. When the war ended, South Korea was one of the poorest countries in the world. Infrastructure was damaged. Factories were limited. People struggled to survive. But Lee believed the country could become something greater. He decided Samsung needed to expand beyond simple trading. The company entered sugar refining. At the time, sugar was an important product, and Korea relied heavily on imports. Lee saw a chance to build domestic production. Samsung's sugar business became highly successful. Next came textiles, then insurance, then finance, then construction. With every new industry, Samsung became stronger. Some people criticized Lee. They believed he was expanding too quickly. They thought he was taking unnecessary risks. But Lee understood a powerful principle. The future belongs to those willing to invest before everyone else sees the opportunity. While others waited for certainty, he moved first. Throughout the 1950s and 1960s, Samsung continued growing. The company became one of South Korea's most influential business groups. At the same time, the country itself was changing. South Korea's government wanted rapid economic development. Large companies were encouraged to build industries and create jobs. Lee Byung-chul became one of the key figures helping drive this transformation. His businesses provided employment to thousands of people. Factories appeared. Production increased. Economic growth accelerated. Slowly, South Korea began its journey from poverty toward prosperity. But Lee knew the future would not belong to traditional industries forever. The world was changing. Technology was becoming more important every year. Televisions were entering homes. Electronics were becoming part of everyday life. Computers were beginning to emerge. Most people saw these changes. Lee saw the future hiding behind them. In 1969, Samsung made one of the most important decisions in its history. The company entered the electronics industry. Looking back today, that decision seems obvious. But at the time, it looked incredibly risky. South Korea was not known for advanced technology. Japanese and American companies dominated the market. Samsung had little experience in electronics. Many people doubted the move. Some believed Samsung would fail. Others thought it was wasting resources. But Lee Byung-chul had built his career on seeing opportunities before everyone else. He believed technology would shape the future. And if Samsung wanted to remain relevant for generations, it had to become part of that future. Samsung Electronics began producing televisions and household appliances. The products were basic compared to today's standards, yet they represented something much bigger. They represented a new direction, a new identity, a new future. Lee understood that true success requires constant reinvention. Companies that refuse to change eventually disappear. Companies that adapt survive. Companies that innovate lead. Samsung chose innovation. And that decision would eventually make it one of the most powerful technology companies on Earth. One of Lee Byung-chul's greatest strengths was his focus on people. He believed talented employees were more valuable than machines or buildings. A factory could be constructed, money could be borrowed, technology could be purchased, but great people were rare. Lee demanded excellence from his employees. He expected discipline, commitment, and continuous improvement. Some described him as strict. Others described him as demanding. But those who worked with him understood his vision. He wanted Samsung to compete with the best companies in the world. Average standards would never achieve extraordinary results. This culture of excellence became part of Samsung's DNA. Years later, it would help the company compete against global giants. As Samsung expanded, Lee's influence continued growing. He became one of South Korea's most respected business leaders. His decisions affected industries, employment, and economic development. Many people viewed him not just as an entrepreneur, but as a nation builder, because in many ways he was. The success of companies like Samsung helped transform South Korea from a poor country into one of the world's leading economies. Of course, Lee's journey was not free from controversy. Like many powerful business leaders, he faced criticism. There were political disputes, business rivalries, public controversies. The larger Samsung became, the more attention it attracted. But regardless of criticism, one fact remained undeniable. Lee Byung-chul had built something extraordinary. What started as a tiny trading company had become a massive business empire. And yet, even after decades of success, he never stopped thinking about the future. That mindset separated him from ordinary entrepreneurs. Most people build for today. Lee built for tomorrow, and then he built for the day after tomorrow. By the 1980s, Samsung had become one of South Korea's most important corporations. The foundation was set. The future looked bright. But Lee Byung-chul knew he would not live forever. The real test of leadership is not what happens while you are present. It is what happens after you are gone. Can the vision survive? Can the organization continue growing? Can the mission outlive the founder? On November 19, 1987, Lee Byung-chul passed away at the age of 77. His death marked the end of an era, but it did not mark the end of Samsung, because the systems, culture, and vision he created continued moving forward. The company kept expanding. Technology became its primary focus. Samsung entered semiconductors, mobile devices, displays, and countless other industries. Eventually, Samsung products reached nearly every corner of the world. Millions of people began using devices carrying the name he created nearly 50 years earlier. Today, Samsung is one of the most recognizable brands on Earth. Its technology powers smartphones, televisions, appliances, memory chips, and countless modern innovations. But behind every achievement stands the story of one man. A man who failed in school. A man who faced war. A man who took risks when others hesitated. A man who started with a small trading store and built a global empire. The story of Lee Byung-chul teaches us a powerful lesson. Your beginning does not determine your destiny. Success is not about where you start. It is about how far you are willing to go. A small shop can become a global giant. A struggling country can become an economic powerhouse. An ordinary idea can change the world. All it takes is vision, courage, and the willingness to keep moving forward when everyone else stops. And that is why Lee Byung-chul will always be remembered. Not simply as the founder of Samsung, but as the man who dared to imagine a future that nobody else could see.